Hey, after work coffee chat. So, I don't really want to read that book anymore. It causes me way too much resistance. That book was very important to me at once, and that book may even be, you may even have found it useful for yourself. I've served my former teacher enough that I have to wonder where he was in his spirit and his mind when he left the earth. So, those are techniques. For me, it's training wheels. And I don't want to read those anymore because bleh, I'm not into it. I'm not into self-help the same way. So I guess I discovered I grew out of something. I I I do hope that I continue reading The Brain and a couple other of my childhood favorites storybooks, but human tales are different because they are the human mind playing out dramas. That may or may not be true, but they play out the story of an individual. So I tend to not reject them as quickly. I got a new book in mail. I got the Book of Serenity, which I've never read. And I don't know if I'm smart enough to read it. I mean, understand it. But this might work. They say it's a companion piece coming after the Blueprint record, which I can't get through. Look, I've only gotten this far. That's none. That's up to the 13th case. And then I look at these cases and I think, well, gee whiz, if a grandchild popped onto this or some stranger off the internet and they never heard of this stuff. But I figure I shouldn't even be worrying about that. So maybe I'll pick one of these books. I was thinking about reading them in order, and I have trouble with these little kinds of decisions. I can't make these minute decisions. They're so difficult. First, should I start with Bodhidharma? But then there's somebody else who's read Bodhidharma, and they did a much better job than me. Second, well, should I read Hun Po? Well, that same person also read that guy's book, and, meh. They did a better job than me. Everybody can do it. Anybody can do a better job than me. I'm not trying to do a good job. I'm just trying to do the job, which is good. See, the job that you do that comes from your heart and is free, that's your good job. So what are we going to do? You think you guys can handle Wu Min? You won't like him. He beats on everybody. I mean, his favorite lesson is to get up at the table and then leave. I bet he doesn't finish reading books either. So I'm thinking some simple instruction that you guys, any guys, can handle in real life, right? And then we reread the people talking about the essence of the sin and quoting the people and using their teachings, and then we can read the obscure teachings, you know what I mean? Because these stories are all, I'm thinking, for a beginner, or what I consider a beginner, somebody who just might not understand the more what seems, this. How do you study the mind? How do you study your mind? And all the others in books are all about monks asking the master questions about the minds that they've studied, and the master giving appropriate answers. And we all hope that those of us who study the same mind might understand. That's why they wrote that stuff down. To describe the mind, show you how to find it, show you how to train it, and then test yourself. I worry about doing this. Like, what am I trying to prove? I'm trying to prove anything. I feel like I just want to say it out loud. I just want to say these teachings out loud. Because, maybe my family won't ever read them. They won't ever read them. And I don't know how long I got left. And these books, well, they mean the most to me. So, I think that's what we're going to do. Yeah. Now, logically speaking, or whatever, if we want to kind of pick up from where Peter McWilliams left off, as far as spiritual, emotional, psychological maturity, and the great way, could probably read Mr. Benke. But I'm not in the mood to read him because of that. He's wonderful, he's wise, and he's a good Zen master of his age. But I have to agree with other people's opinions that I've read that, how would he do going up against Yunmen? And Yunmen asks him about Buddha nature, or some shit. I don't know how it would go, but in my imagination it's going like this. And Benke were to answer a question about it's all in the unborn mind. That's holding on to something still. Maybe Benke got as far as he could get. And some people argue that, well, because he did not leave an heir, what does that mean? Well, I guess that means somebody who got enlightened. There's also a lot of talk of the student surpassing the teacher. Then she talks about how the student should surpass the teacher, or the teacher's teachings weren't good enough, I guess. I don't know. I'm not that good at quoting. Hence, a good reason why it's a good idea to read it out loud, and I can listen to it later. And then some of these books I'm going to have to do something else with. Like there's a long part in here, and I read it the other day. It talks about the ox and the circle and the triple gem, this, that, and the third. And it doesn't require footnotes or anything. It's well explained. It's just, I think before I read that bit, which is fairly at the beginning of the book, I'll have to draw some pictures. So put the picture up on the screen. Hello. But yeah. So, and I lost a subscriber, and I'm thinking, yeah, that's alright. I wanted to try to talk about my life and my memories, but it's so hard to do. I mean, there's like nobody to talk to. So I get here and I'm not talking to anybody. So it's real hard to focus my conversation. So I guess that's why I'm just hanging on to reading books, and if I happen to think of any commentary, I might catch the urge to talk about it, but talking about myself, I kind of need somebody to talk to. I have a sense of humor, it's kind of great, but I have no reason to pull it out on you because I don't tend to make jokes by myself that I make when I'm in front of other people. Not that autistic, maybe. But yeah, so I hope you don't mind, but no, I'm kind of done reading that kind of book. It also makes me wonder whether or not I'm even going to read many of my religious books. The only book that I think I might be interested in reading as a remedial instruction would probably be Wisdom from the World's Religions, which is a book of compiled proverbs and wisdom statements from the very many of the holy books of the religions of the world. And I found that book quite helpful in looking at things spiritually, or broadening my view of God and stuff. Well, I think I'll just stop this video here. There's nothing going on. I just wanted to apologize that I'm not into my old guru as much as I used to be, and B, I'd rather read the Zen and talk about the Zen, and C, it's hard to talk about the Zen just on a dry, topicless, and D, I wanted to talk about like a vlog, like a diary, like a personal storytelling, but I'm not there. I'm not in that space of mind. So who knows? Eventually I'll fade away. I won't be missed. Alright, that's it. Good night for now. We'll see about starting the Zen letters of Yanwu. We're going to start there first because he's my cheerleader. He really gets me. He gets my groove. He gets my groove starting. And then we'll probably go Foy and Dahoy. Foyan and Dahoy. And then we'll see if you guys can handle a little taste of some of these bigger books. We'll find out, huh? Alright. Good night.